Alright, today's story time. This was great. This was August 2021 in Bally's. So a guy sat at the table and he had coins. And I don't know, sometimes people have like one coin and it's a card protector. This guy had a lot of coins and I didn't know what he was doing with them. And I asked, and he said he was going to be tipping with them. And I thought it was a joke because that's a terrible, terrible idea. And he wasn't joking. It was those Sacagawea coin dollars that were like made and like fairly popular for like a week and a half, 20 years ago. He had a bunch of those and he was tipping with them. He wasn't tipping the dealers. The dealers he was tipping with chips, but he was tipping the waitresses with these coin dollars. So he actually started doing it and I realized he wasn't joking and I started, inquiring about this. And I said, like, how, like, you're really tipping with these? Like, you might as well not be tipping. Like, what is she going to do with those? And he goes, they're currency, they're money. And I said, yeah, but like, most people don't remember when those were made. They like, people look at them and they don't know what they are. And he says, they're very convenient if you're driving through tolls in the East. And I said, well, that's debatable, but even if it's true, she's not driving through tolls in the East. She's a waitress in Vegas right now. Like, she's gonna go home, think they're toys, and even if she thinks they're real, what is she gonna do with them? She's gonna put them in, like, a drawer in her dresser and forget they exist. Like, you might as well just not be tipping her. It's a joke. Like, you tipping with these things. And he goes, other countries have either all coins for their currency or way more coins than the US has. Way more coins compared to paper money than the US. The US is heavy with paper money. Other countries, Canada, England, other countries, they have way more coins and it works a lot better. And I said, well, whether that's true or not doesn't affect this waitress. Like, you're giving her these coins and like she doesn't even know what to do with them. She doesn't even know if they're real or not. And he goes, in the other countries, it takes a lot less to manufacture these coins because you manufacture them and they don't wear like paper money does. So you don't need to make so many of them again. You can make them very infrequently and they stay in circulation for a very long time. It's great. And I said, but when you do it in a country like this and people aren't used to it and people just get them in their change or for their tips, like from you, and they bring them home and they put them in their dresser and they never get seen ever again, now they're out of circulation. And you would need to make a lot more if you want a ton of these in circulation, because so many people are just gonna like throw them on the floor when they walk in and not care about them. They like, she doesn't even know where to use this. If you brought that into a gas station, the guy behind the counter might not even know what it is. He might not accept it. So after I said, people are just gonna put them in their dressers and forget they exist and now they're out of circulation, he said, well, that's not the government's problem. I said, that's exactly whose problem it is if the government's goal is to very infrequently make these coins. They need to stay in circulation or there's no point. And at one point he said I'm prejudiced, and at one point he said I was biased. I said the government was short-sighted about making these 20 years ago. He says they were hopeful. I said it's not one or the other. They could have been both. They could have been short-sighted about it and hopeful. And it was really weird because like he could bring those to the bank and like he had those coins. Like he had that money as part of his like net worth. He could have brought them to the bank and like they were actually money for him. And he's okay giving that money out as tips, but he's only giving it to someone who doesn't know what it is. Like, whatever, he had 20 coin dollars, he could have given them to the bank and his bank account increases by 20, okay? I mean, they were in his possession, whether they were in his hands or in his bank, but like, the bank would accept them. And he's willing to pay $20 in tips over the course of whatever, a day of poker, a couple days of poker. And instead of actually giving money, he's giving something that he knows is never going to be used. It was very strange, and he didn't have any answers that were satisfactory for the questions I was asking. What was really funny was the next day I was playing at Bally's. I think there were daily tournament tables going, but there was only one cash table. And I was playing it, I was there. He walks in, and he gets sat at that table. It's the only cash table going. We had an open seat. He gets sat there, and he instantly asked for a table change. That's really weird to ask for a table change when there's no other tables going. Sometimes people will ask, if you open a new table, can I move? He didn't say that. He just instantly asked for a table change. I don't think he understood there was only one cash game going and the other tables were tournament tables. I think he saw me and knew he would have to field more questions about the coin dollars and wanted nothing to do with me. So that guy was really strange, but it was entertaining at least. Interesting story. Interesting in the moment, interesting 2.5 years later to tell you guys. And remember, rice is a spoon food.